What's happening, Dan? Welcome back to podcast number one.
Number one, the pilot.
I know it.
The launch.
Well, we did do episode 0, episode 0, just to, kind of let people know what we were doing. But this is the first time we're going to have a guest on the show.
We're excited about this guest, too.
I know.
Great actor from a great show that we both love.
It's a fantastic series, man. I got to tell you, and for you guys listening out there, it's Ozark. It's amazing. It's such a cool show, and so into it. Final season right now just came out, the last few episodes, and just to have this person on the show today is to kick off our podcast series is fantastic.
So before we jump in, I have a bit of a bone to pick with you.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I was catching up on We Own the City last night, and I see that you ventured into a little bit of what could be called a sexy dance and a little chair dance there. And I don't know, man. That's kind of my area, my thing. I feel like I don't try to grow awesome mustaches. I feel like you shouldn't be getting into the dancing world.
Dan, you could. Well, I wouldn't be offended if you grew a nice mustache, but can you grow an epic mustache?
I can't grow a nice mustache.
No? Oh, man.
No, sorry.
When I was on the show, they asked me, they said, hey, can you do a little dance for us? So I wasn't going to say no.
Right.
Wait, my friend Dan, that's his thing. I was just like, all right, yeah, whatever you want me to do. So, the director said, hey, why don't you do a little dance? I was like, you got it. You asked for it.
I can get down tonight.
You asked for it, you got it. Here we go. So I gave him
that's really cool. Congratulations, man. That's it's great to see you on that. The show is it's amazing. It's also terrible, because this is all the stuff that is actually happening here in our home state. And but glad that they're that they caught those guys and are working to clean things up. But the show's incredible.
It is. It's a really good show, based on a true story and based on the book We Own the City by the Baltimore Sun writer. Fenton is his last name, the writer. And it's been a really, really eye-opening series, and you're going to learn some stuff about the things that were going on in the Baltimore police force and probably other police forces around the country, things that need to be cleaned up and taken care of. So hopefully this brings about some change, which, it already has, I think, in just being here in Baltimore area. You've seen it on the news. They've come out, the Baltimore Police Department has come out and made some statements about it. And, they're looking internally and, hopefully they're going to try and fix this thing and get it back on track. So
it is one of the wild things about being an actor in this area is the shows, the Wire and Homicide and now this. They always have kind of a Baltimore police angle to them. So it's not just a role. It's where we live. It's home. So it's pretty wild to see it on HBO on one of these great shows.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that it's based on a true story. The Wire and Homicide weren't. You could say that maybe it's based off of some true life stuff that is going on in David Simon's world or Pelicanos' world, but it was a fictional show. This is based on a true story. This is based on real stuff that happened. And they fictionalize a little bit of it, I guess, to tell this story, but it's based on stuff that actually happened, and it's unfortunate that stuff happened, but I think the story needs to be told so things can change. So, all right, I think that's enough of that.
Let's jump in. I think we got a theme song to play.
I think we do have a theme song. You ready? Here we go.
Take it away, Jeremy.
Boom.
Appletinis with Ken. Appletinis with Ken. Oh, yeah. Appletinis with Ken. Oh. Appletinis with Ken. Oh, yeah. Oh. Appletinis with Ken. Appletinis with Ken. Oh, yeah.
Appletinis. I know, me too. Jerry he does such a great job. You know what? We're gonna get him to if he doesn't charge us an arm and a leg, because he is Romanian X Factor winner. And he'll probably send us through his agent to get that song revamped and just do Appletinis the podcast.
We can just do we can get your son to come in and add like an echo, like Appletinis with Ken and Dan.
Yeah, we can do that. But let's get to our guest, man. He's sitting in the green room. We got him over here.
So Kevin L. Johnson can be seen across both television and film. He's best known for his role as Sam Dermoody in Netflix's hit series Ozark, starring Jason Bateman and Laura Linney and Julia Garner. What originally started as a 2-episode role in season 1 led instead to Kevin portraying Sam each additional season, including the 4th and final, which just released. And he'll soon be seen as Eric in Netflix's Florida Man, executive produced by Bateman, and will guest star in the cult hit show Stranger Things. Can't wait to talk about that.
What?
Yes.
Ed, Kevin, thanks for joining us, man. All right.
Woo. What's going on? Nice to see you guys again.
Oh, great to see you. Great to see you. I mean, I've been watching you on my TV for the last, week and a half, catching up and finishing the series, of course. But, congratulations on that. I mean, it's such a phenomenal show, and just watching you do your thing on it has been fantastic. And thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for being our first guest on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
So, Dan, you want to start with the questions? I know you sent over a list of questions earlier, so.
Yeah, sure. So we for those of you who don't know, we had Kevin on our Facebook Live show a little while back, and you were just getting ready, I think, at that time. I think you guys had all been nominated for the SAG Award for Ensemble, which I imagine that will be repeated here coming soon. Knock on something. But you guys were just getting ready to go back and film the show at that point. I think the vaccines were on the way, and you guys were getting ready to head back. So what was it like filming the final season? What was that experience?
It was great, man. It was I didn't start back up until 2021, but they started shooting in November of 2020, and I was like ready to go. And of course, right before I was supposed to start shooting, I got the first dose of the vaccine, and then I got sick. I tested. I was like, oh no, what is going to happen? Are they going to cut my stuff? I was like really worried. And no, I went into quarantine, and then when I came out of quarantine, like we just rolled right into my stuff. So.
That's so correct.
That was, yeah.
But that was quick that you were able to get in there, yeah.
So, yeah, they didn't cut any of your stuff, it looks like. So, as a matter of fact, I think that, they kind of really, you were a pivotal character there in the last series of episodes that they released. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they did cut a couple scenes. But I think they were, there were scenes that you could cut. So it didn't take away from my storyline or anything like that. But yeah, most of my stuff made it in. And yeah, I was, when I found out what was going to be happening to my character, I was like, okay, interesting. Yeah.
And for the listeners, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the show just at the high level. And then toward the end, we're going to come back and talk about how the show ended. So we'll give you a warning before we dive into anything spoilery. But Sam was one of these characters that just every season he had like a different thing going on with him. Like you started out as a realtor, and then you were working over here, and you were running this strip club, and then you were being used for laundering. Like it was like you just bounced around and around, and that had to be fun. What was that process for you? Like, just what's next, right?
Yeah, it was cool, and having a showrunner like Chris Mundy, who was very open and willing to talk about like storylines. So I kind of knew after the first season we were talking, like, because I remember before we started shooting season 2, I knew that I was going to be working at the strip club, have a girlfriend, like that was going to be a big part of his storyline. And then finding out, before we started shooting season 3, that I was going to be addicted to gambling, or season 4, you were going to see me get addicted to the gambling that I was supposed to lose. But for some reason that just, thrilled Sam. And
right.
Finding out how things were going to end for Sam was interesting. It makes sense for the character without giving anything away, I think, like for his arc.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was listening the other day to the Think Bigger podcast when your guest spot on there, and I saw that you booked this off of a self-tape, and that apparently they originally were going to go a different direction, and then they came back around to you, but you, like you said in the intro, only knew 2 episodes, and here we are however many years later in 4 seasons. And so what was that? I mean, just what was that process for you, and how did this whole thing kind of develop?
Well, I mean, so this was the first quote big role that I had. So I think it was probably a little bit of the just being naive, thinking like, oh man, this is going to turn into something big. Who knows? Because I mean, I had done like one-liners and things like that, but this was the first recurring role. And when I got the sides for the audition, part of me was just like, I don't know, man, I think this guy could stick around. I just, there's something about this character. And who knows what they had in mind. But, when I got on set and they saw what I brought to the character, thank goodness they kept me around. They were like, I think we could use him quite a bit. I remember at the rap party for season 1, I was talking to Chris, and I was like, so, what do you think? Is Sam going to be sticking around? He's like, well, he's in the universe now, so, I mean, we'll see.
I mean, that's the dream, right? Anytime you have a co-star or a guest star, you come up with a million storylines of how they could bring you back. But when they actually do it, you hit the jackpot.
Yeah. I mean, if I was being like, honest with myself, when I saw season 1, I really felt like there was no way they couldn't bring me back. He was too relevant to what was going on. And
right.
It just made sense. And
Yeah,
thank goodness they kept me around.
And in that world, you're talking about a small town. Essentially, it is a small town. And you're going to see the same people, and they're going to interact with the same people in that town. So, yeah, I mean, it just made sense to bring your character back and keep him in the world, which was nice.
Now, what was the audition? I know we talked about this a little bit before, but for the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
What was your audition like? What was that process? How much information did they give you, and what choices did you make?
So I knew it was that Jason was one of the producers. I knew it was Bill Dubuque, who did The Accountant, was like the creator,
Mm-hmm.
and had the breakdown for the character. They gave me I think I had 3 scenes for my audition. The first scene was where Wendy catches me on the computer, and she thinks something else is going on, which is still a classic scene that people talk about to this day. I had a feeling when I saw that scene in the show, when we were shooting it, I was like, I'm going to be remembered for this scene for quite some time, I think. A dog licking peanut butter off my toes, not somewhere else.
Yeah.
But people they go to weird places, and
They do.
I'm like, no, that's not possible. How? What? You could never root for me. I would have been dead if it was something else. Like they would have gotten rid of Sam pretty quickly if he had his dog lick peanut butter off of somewhere.
Yeah. Probably.
So that was one of the scenes. And then the other scene was where I introduced Wendy to Buddy when we show her the house. and the other scene was where Wendy shows up to the house warming. Is it housewarming when they do real estate? I think.
Yes. Or open house. An open house.
Open house.
Yeah.
Yeah. She shows up basically wanting to work for me. And I'm like, I don't know how my mom's going to feel about this. She likes to do everything herself.
Yeah.
So I really, to be honest, I tried not to do too much in the audition. I felt like people are probably going to try to make more out of it than it is. Like maybe that he has he's attracted to Wendy, or, because you're trying to find something in those scenes with the other characters. You're trying to find something to be interesting, I guess. And I just didn't go that route. I just went like, this is a guy in the Ozarks, he's just trying to make some money and get out of this thing any way he can, and just a nice dude. And I was just like, I'm just going to be myself. And yeah, I didn't think too much about objectives and strategies and obstacles, And I do, because I've taken acting classes and I know about all those things, but I just felt like for this, I'm not going to gild the lily. I think I know where this guy's coming from. I feel like I got this. So
that was something I heard you say before in the other podcast that really, really kind of connected for me, or really clicked for me, was just that I think you said that they picked you for a reason. They saw something in your headshot and your reel and your resume that the casting group said, I want to see this guy. And so you gave them that. You said, I'm not going to go too far from who I am. And that really, for me, don't overcomplicate it. Don't try so hard. Just be you. Float. Let the words kind of flow through you, and do it.
Yeah, unless your strategies are really if you're really good at using different strategies, then feel free. But if some strategies are out of your wheelhouse and you're still trying to kind of work on those, probably not the best time in an audition piece. I think you're better off just showing them, Kevin or Dan or Ken, and be like, okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of that. When I coach younger actors and things like that, I'm like, look, become really good at you. Become really good at being you first before you dive into doing strategies or anything like that, because that is a great base to start from. Being you, but being really relaxed and simple and just in the moment as you, as if it was happening to you. And then you can add those layers and all the other things that as an actor, sometimes that's where we go. That's where the exploration leads us. But that's
directors too. That's where the director comes in also. So,
Exactly. So, one time I saw the audition for Forrest Gump with Haley Joel Osment, the kid in Forrest Gump, played his son. And watching that audition piece, that audition video, Tom Hanks was the Tom Hanks we knew from Bachelor Party, and Joe versus the Volcano, and in movies like that. He hadn't become Forrest Gump yet. Now he was very relaxed and very real in the audition piece, but the layers hadn't come in yet. So I think that, saying to keep it simple and to keep it's golden. It really is for any actor.
Did you see where he finally came up with the voice, the axe, where he came up with it?
I did not see that. No.
So the guy, the kid who plays him at a younger age, that was his voice.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And
that's why he was
all right.
Oh,
that makes sense.
There it is.
Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
right. I did see that. I saw an article on him. I think he went into the military eventually, and they'd call him Gump.
That's amazing. So, Kevin, on the show here, we like to ask our guests, or we're going to make this, since this is the first one, we like to ask our guests, like, what drives you as an actor? What's the passion? What gets you out of bed in the morning to keep pursuing this thing and keep doing it? And what is it that just draws you to being being an actor and who you are?
Oh man. Wow. Just never settling, always going to that next level, trying to get to that next step. Like, that's the beauty, I think, of this business, is that there is no ceiling. You just keep, the sky is the limit, literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I think that, every day, if I'm not learning something about this industry, I've failed, but I don't want to say the word failed because I hate that word, but I've let myself down if I haven't learned something new or tried to work at what we do, the craft of acting.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think that that's another important thing for younger actors as well is keep growing, keep learning, keep going to acting workshops and classes and auditions, and just keep doing it, keep pushing yourself. Is that something that you would say you would recommend for younger actors?
Oh yeah, classes, workshops. I definitely recommend watching like really good movies. With Pacino, Hoffman, Hackman, those guys back in the day, man. Holy cow! Like there was just nobody like them.
Yep. If you ever get a chance, check out. There's a documentary called Casting By. It's on HBO, and it really kind of talks about that LA casting, where like the studio format, where they would sign an actor to a studio and then they would just put him in whatever they had, versus the New York and the New School, and bringing in the Hoffmans and the John Voights and all of those actors, and the fights that the casting directors had to be able to pull in those actors who weren't the studio look, it's a great documentary.
Are you guys watching The Offer on Paramount
Not yet.
Plus?
No, I don't have Paramount Plus, but I'm thinking about getting it just so I can watch that. Yeah.
It's because on IMDb you can see, you can go to the trivia and you can see
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to The Godfather, there's just 100 things that they tell you about the movie, and they reveal this stuff in the show about Pacino not being the choice, and the love that Coppola had, the passion to get him to play Michael because they just didn't want him, and knowing that was the guy, and there was nobody else that could play him. Jimmy Caan couldn't play him, but they wanted him to play him at one point. It was insane. I definitely recommend the show. It's great.
I'm definitely planning to check it out. So, for you guys, for Ozark, at what point, obviously I think it works just like most of the other shows on HBO, and I'm assuming they shot all of season 1 and then went away and edited it and then released it at a later point. So at what point did you realize what you were part of? I mean, I assume shooting it, you knew it wasn't a bad show and that it was going to be really good, but at what point did you realize what it had become?
Before season 1 came out?
Or just even after, was there a certain point where you're like, oh wow, we're really in something big?
I think my first moment was it hadn't even aired yet, and I went to go see Laura Linney on Broadway because she was in Little Foxes. Brought her some flowers, got to go backstage and talk to her, and she was really excited about the show coming out. And she was like, Kevin, I've done a lot of stuff, but I'm really excited about this show. There's something about it. And to hear that from Laura Linney, national treasure, was pretty cool. So I had a good feeling there. And then, man, I think the first week when the first season came out, and the reviews were good for the first season too. I had a feeling we had a hit on our hands with Breaking Bad, people loving it, and because you got to find, especially when you're, in your rookie season, you always want to find something that's relatable. Like, oh, well, if you like this show, you're gonna love our show. And Breaking Bad was the easy go-to, as well as Justified too. So, yeah, I had a good feeling. And Netflix, man, nobody knew about Ozark until it came out, literally. Because I remember telling people when I was working in the restaurant business, and I was like, guys, I'm telling you, if what I've been shooting, if all this stuff makes it into the first season, this is a game changer for me. Yeah. And they're like, oh, cool, okay, cool, we'll look out. And I was like, no, I don't think you understand. I just, there's something big about this. If everything makes it on that show, because I got like one scene cut in the first season, so I was really lucky for that. And when it came out, it was a total game changer for me. Getting recognized at the restaurant was crazy, and man, funny story. So when I was in New Orleans for my buddy's wedding, part 2, it just came out of the final season. So it was very fresh in people's minds. So I got recognized everywhere. I felt like a celebrity. It was fucking weird.
You know why you felt like a celebrity? You know why you felt like a celebrity? Because you are. Period. Now, right? So yeah, you will forever be that character, man, in Ozark. So
man,
you love to be Sam. So I mean, it's phenomenal, and we're really happy for you, man. That's great that you had that experience, and it's only gonna get better for you from here. I got a question for you though. I for those of you who are listening to this podcast and can't see the video, Kevin's got a Langmore Love shirt on. What does that say? What is that? Look at that. What's on there? I mean, I see.
Oh, it's got all the
the Langmores.
It's got all the Langmores on there.
That's fantastic. That is.
I think it was like the last day that they were all together in the final season. So
that's cool.
I know it's a little bit of a spoiler, but flashback stuff, so you can see everybody. So
all right, but that's pretty awesome. I like that a lot. I was like, is that a band that he started or something?
That's a great name for a band, right?
I know. It is. It's like a folky, kind of bluegrassy, I would think.
Opening up for Tyler Childers or Chris Stapleton or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Oh man. So, Kev, on the Appletini show, we like to ask you, what's your favorite go-to drink? Because obviously, I like Appletinis. I know Dan, what's yours? And then
mine's Manhattan.
Yeah, he's a Manhattan. He's a bourbon dude. What about you? What's your go-to drink?
Just a nice bourbon on the rocks, probably. Just a good sipper, like maybe Angel's Envy or Bullet.
Bullet's good. Yeah.
I was a Bullet guy. I've switched over to Larceny. It's about the same price point, but I think it's a really good one.
Yeah, Larceny's a good one too. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, and where would you go to get said bourbon? Like, if you were to go to, what's your favorite hangout spot to go get a drink of bourbon?
Not necessarily like your local place. Like, what's your favorite bar that you've been
exactly? Because I don't want
place for a cocktail.
Yeah, I don't want people
I
clamoring for autographs.
Hey, I went to this really cool cocktail bar when I was back home in Charlotte late last year, and it was I can't remember what it was called, but it was a bar where you literally go in and they make you say what kind of drink you want, and they make your drink. Like, they'll ask you, do you like your drinks, sweet, smoky, all those, and you tell them what you're looking for, and then they make you a drink. And I cannot remember what it was called, but it was a really cool bar.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And that was in Charlotte, you said? We'll have to try.
Yeah,
to
it
figure
was
this
in
out.
downtown Charlotte.
All right, I'm gonna do some research, see if I can't figure it out. So not right now, but you know.
If I can remember, my buddies will know the name of the bar. I'll let you know.
Cool.
Great.
So, you know what, Dan? I think we need to get into how the season ended. You know, I really think we need.
Let me do a couple things here real quick before we do that.
All right, go ahead, because I just gotta, I gotta see what he thinks about how everything.
So you've gotten to work with Jason Bateman, Laura Linney, Julia Garner, and in this last season, this is not a spoiler, but Richard Thomas. I almost made it the guy from E.T. Richard Thomas, who is TV royalty. So what are the things that working with those actors that I'm always looking for things that I can steal and say, oh, I really latch onto that, or I'm going to use that for myself. What are the things working with them that you really just stood out to you, or that you took away from those experiences?
Oh, wow. First off, Richard Thomas was awesome. Such just a really nice gentleman. We didn't have a lot of scene back and forth. I don't think we actually had any dialogue back and forth, but he was in a couple scenes because most of my stuff, when he was in it, it was with his girlfriend.
Right.
Which you'll see. Man almighty, what did I learn? Just not to do. I mean, I think I said, you just don't do too much. It's just trust the work, and Laura was really good. I mean, we didn't have a ton of scenes. Well, no, we had a couple scenes this season. She would do something different in each take, probably. Which is, it keeps you on your toes, keeps you in the moment. So I think that's a good thing that I took away. That's good for editing too. You don't, editors want different things that they can work with. So if you do the same thing every time, I guess it makes their job a little harder. But if you give them other things, then I don't know. I might be rambling here. I'm so
You're not rambling, not at all. I do a lot of editing, and I like it when actors do give you options to go to. That way. The one thing that I would say though that is frustrating sometimes is the physicality, the movements that they do. Now I'm not saying that they shouldn't do different takes and stuff like that. What I'm saying is, you could still do a different take and give us something different, but still pick the glass up around the same time, take a sip the same. You know what I mean? Things like that. Those are the things that frustrate me as an editor, when actors don't do at the same moment in a line.
Yeah.
Pick the drink up. They don't pick it up, or it's just frustrating to me as an editor when that happens.
I feel like that's a good thing to learn early. If you're in a scene and you see, a cup and food or whatever, don't have too much fun with that, because then you're gonna have to do that when they do the close-up shots, and then that's a hassle for continuity.
The script supervisor wants to strangle you at one more.
It's damn it, you picked up the sandwich again.
Yes.
Oh God.
I made the mistake on The Wire of taking 2 bites of a sausage, egg, and cheese croissant in the first take, and then the script supervisor came by and said, "Okay, you took a bite here, you took a bite there." She goes, "You can turn the sandwich and use the other side of it for the next take." I had the equivalent of 8 sandwiches that night. The next day I was miserable. I mean, just my guts were destroyed. So I didn't know to ask for a spit bucket or anything like that.
I watch TV shows now, and when I see eating scenes, I'm like, how many times are they actually going to eat? I bet they're not going to eat too much. They'll play around with the sandwich, and, they'll be talking with the sandwich, and eventually, and they'll go back to, so they make sure not to eat the sandwich.
Yeah.
And it's come on, nobody does that. You got to eat the sandwich, right? Yeah.
Yeah, when I think about watching The Sopranos and how many times was Tony eating pasta or something or bread, and how much did he actually eat in those scenes? I really would like to know the answer to that, because that he was always.
I mean, if you're gonna eat, you're gonna eat. I mean, just go all out.
Yeah,
Go for it.
Yeah, I agree.
So before we move into any spoilers or anything like that, I have a couple other questions. I saw that you're on Cameo now. Those are great. I got one for my son from Rob Macchio that did the Todd on Scrubs.
Oh yeah,
and it was fantastic. But so what's the weirdest thing you've been asked to do, and how many people want you to do something with peanut butter, or how's that process?
Oh my God.
I haven't had any weird ones, to be honest with you.
Duly noted. I'm gonna jump on and make you do weird stuff now.
I guess the weirdest ones are where they want you to be in character, but like nothing about, hey, can you have a dog lick peanut butter off your toes or anything? For one thing, I'd have to go get a dog. I don't have a dog. You're gonna pay me money to go buy a dog, Mr. Cameo guy who wanted me to do this? I mean, so I think I haven't ran into any issues yet, which has been good.
Yet being the key word.
Some good extra money, especially when the show comes out. It's big, and Mother's Day came out around the same time the second half came out. So when I was in New Orleans, I was getting cameos like left and right, which was paying for my trip to New Orleans almost.
That's awesome.
So I had to make sure to get some of the cameos done and be like, hey, I got to go do this 24-hour cameo because you can, if you get it in 24, like if they want a 24-hour cameo, it's a little more. So I'm like, hey guys, I got to go knock this cameo out real quick. And then I just got one today. It was a 24-hour cameo, and it was a business cameo, which was like $300 to talk about a cool cap company. Like they sell caps. Yeah. And they were
do you have to wear a certain wardrobe or anything when you do those things, or did they give you the cap or anything?
No. I mean, oh, you mean like the wardrobe that they have?
No. Did you have to wear a suit? You said it was a business thing. So did you change what you were
it was wearing? It was like an intro to somebody, another company was going to be helping out their media. Okay. So the guy who owned the company wanted an intro to this team that was going to help out with social media or something. Okay. So I was introducing the company to them. Okay. And I mean, those don't come along very often, but when they do, it's a good payday. It was 10-15 minutes and I made $300.
That's awesome.
I told my roommate, I was like, I wish this happened every day.
Yeah, right. That would be incredible.
So you're going to be staying in the Netflix family. We mentioned, Stranger Things. I'm sure there's not much you can tell us, but from the teaser that I saw, I felt like your storyline had a bit of a Haunting of Hill House sort of vibe to it.
Or American Horror Story. Some people thought kind of deal. When that teaser hit, I think it was September 25th last year. Had no idea, because I was super excited. It was during Netflix's To Doom, as they call it. It was like they were introducing things that were going to be coming up later. And I was more excited about Ozark because I thought they were going to reveal when Ozark was coming out. Mm-hmm. And we got to see, a teaser of Ozark, which is cool. But then when they, did a Stranger Things, and I knew they were going to do something Stranger Things related, but I had no clue that they were going to do that. So when the Duffer Brothers are sitting down in the intro on this To Doom Netflix special thing, and they're like, hey, so should we introduce everybody to the Creel house? And I was like, Are you going? Wait, what? Are we about to see what I think we're about to see?
There you go.
And then he shows the teaser, and it's, it's me and Tyner, who played my wife, and our kids. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is insane.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I'm excited to see. I think it's May 27th is when the first part comes out.
Nice.
So they're splitting it up like Ozark then.
Yeah, right. I know, like volumes instead of parts. So that was interesting.
It is.
Yeah,
I've found that like the Disney stuff, like the Marvel shows and the Star Wars shows. I still like getting those once a week. I feel like, Ken and I will ping each other. Did you see Moon Knight last week? And we'll talk about that episode as opposed to, I saw 8 of them last night. So I don't know which one you're talking about. Like, it still kind of focuses the conversation on just a small chunk of it. So, and I think it gets you excited for, that second half of the season dropping too. So I like that they're doing that. They're breaking it up a little bit.
Yeah. I was talking to Ted Sarandos from Netflix. I actually got to meet him at the premiere in New York. And I was like, so, are you guys thinking about going to like once a week since you're kind of, dipping your toe into the water with breaking it up into 2 parts? Are we going to do once a week? He's like, no. They like the binge at Netflix. They're going to stick with that, they said. But it'd be weird, I think, if Marvel, not that I wouldn't sit down and watch all the episodes. Of course I would. But then it would be over.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
You only get 6. I don't want them to be gone that quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Moon Knight was good. I liked it.
Yeah, so did I. I thought it was great.
I like them all, though. People are like, Kevin, you like everything. And I'm like, I know.
I've loved every one of the Marvel shows so far. There hasn't been one that I've been like, I don't know. I loved every single one of them. And I just can't get enough. Like next, please. I don't even know what.
It's like a movie. It really is. It's like you're watching 6 episodes of Moon Knight, around 45 minutes apiece. It's like a long movie, and they're definitely they're pulling at heartstrings in phase. Is it phase 4?
Phase 4.
Yeah.
Somebody said that like there's a theme so far where there's a lot of pulling at heartstrings, with loss and.
Yep.
WandaVision for sure.
Yep.
WandaVision completely was pivotal to Doctor Strange 2. I
haven't seen Doctor Strange 2 yet.
Yeah, don't tell him anything, Dan. Don't tell him anything.
I won't.
All right.
I can't go out and get anybody sick. I need to go out and see it ASAP though.
So, and what can you tell us about Florida Man? I see that it's Edgar Ramirez, it's Anthony LaPaglia, who he'll forever for me. He'll be Joe from Empire Records, but
wasn't he in I Married an Axe Murderer?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. I like
that. And Jason Bateman is producing. So what's that one about? And what are you doing?
Yeah, there's not a lot out there yet about it. It's definitely playing on the whole like Homer's Odyssey. I think that is I think it says on IMDb that it's a modern version of Homer's Odyssey.
Okay.
And yeah, Edgar Ramirez plays a cop who comes back in. He's looking for the mob boss's girlfriend, and while he's looking for her, crazy stuff happens, and they throw the whole Florida Man idea, because you hear on the news, Billy Bob was wrestling a gator outside the bar, such a Florida Man thing.
Yeah.
So to play on that. So in the show, like in between like scenes, they're going to have like newscast to kind of tie in that whole thing, like that idea. I think it's going to be really cool. So I'm excited. There's no release date yet for it though. But yeah.
And where does your character fit in, or what are you doing in that?
I can't say too much because then it'll give it away.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, I get to interact with Abby Lee, who was on Lovecraft Country.
Okay.
Really, really awesome actor. And she was also in the movie Old, M. Night's latest movie, I think. Yeah. It's gonna be good. It should be coming out. Excuse me. It should be coming out this year, though.
Did you notice how we started on Stranger Things and we just sort of got away from it? That was pretty well done there. Netflix has got you guys media trained.
Exactly.
I don't know if that was on me though.
Right. So, what can you? I just saw Millie Bobby Brown on Jimmy Fallon the other night, and she looks like 28 now. All these kids have grown up like so much since the last season, so it's got to be a huge time jump. Between
wasn't it 3? Well, season 3 came out in 2019, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we started shooting season 4 in early 2020, and then of course everything shut down. So yeah, they're like a year behind of it coming out. I'm sure it was supposed to come out last year. There's no doubt in my mind. But yeah, it's. Season 4 is going to, I don't know much about it, to be honest with you, other than and very little about my storyline. So Robert Englund is in it.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he plays, and this is online. This isn't a spoiler. I play a younger version of him.
Okay.
So
very cool.
That's where the flashbacks come from.
All right.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. And then you can see in the teaser where I'm at the door and the kids are behind me laying on the ground. You can kind of like figure some stuff out there probably.
Yeah, piece it together a little bit.
It's a big part of the season, I think.
Awesome.
Is what's happening for sure.
So cool. Well, congratulations on that. We're looking forward to that. And can't wait to get back to the crew there, and I guess they're not in Hawkins anymore, but looking forward to seeing it. So, all right, Ken, we can let people know we're going to go behind the spoiler wall here.
All right, we're going behind the spoiler wall here, folks. So if you haven't seen the end of Ozark yet, yes, you can turn us off, or if you don't mind spoilers, you can continue to listen, because we're going to get into how the season ended a little bit here, and just discuss the ending of one of the, in my opinion, it's one of my greatest series that I've ever watched on Netflix or any television anywhere. It was a fantastic series. I'm a huge fan of Breaking Bad, right? Huge fan, but I got to tell you, I like the way this ended way better. And I can get into that a little bit because I feel as if, in this series, the people that I felt should have been taken out got taken out. So that was the one thing that really, in my opinion, worked out well, is that the right people wound up not making it at the end. So, in my opinion, that's just my opinion. So.
Oh, really? Oh, you think? We're behind the spoiler wall, right?
Yes, we're behind the spoiler wall.
So you were cool with Ruth getting whacked?
Yes, I was.
He was.
Because she was, if you had to compare the two shows, right? Breaking Bad, it was Jesse, who was the bane of Walter White's existence, right? Caused all of his problems, essentially, right?
Okay.
And the end of that, he lives. He makes it, right? He should have been, if they would have killed him early on, obviously all of Walter's problems might have gone away, right?
He was supposed to die early on, wasn't he?
I guess, but they changed it, right? But in this, Ruth, she's the bane of Bateman's character the whole time.
I think it's the exact opposite. I think the birds are the banes of everybody's existence.
Yeah. I think she's the problem that led. She led to everything that Marty had, and he kept trying to protect her and trying to help her. The same thing that Walter was doing with Jesse in Breaking Bad. But in this one, I thought she should have gone earlier, to be honest with you. But that's just me. But
Before season 4?
No. But earlier in the season, I think she.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
After she whacked Hobby?
Yeah, I thought that the birds were actually going to be the ones to take her out. I thought it was going to be them. I thought it was going to be Laura Linney's character was going to take her out. Was going to have it done. So that's what I thought. But then it played out the way it played out. But
I had a feeling she was going to stay. She was going to last until the end. I mean, because she was the breakout character in the show, or breakout star in the show.
Well, I think it was a fitting end to what happened to her character.
I completely disagree because I feel like we've talked about this a little bit. Like as viewers, we have this expectation. Like with Game of Thrones, we're still behind the spoiler wall, so I'm not ruining anything for anyone. Like Theon Greyjoy was never going to get the happily ever after. He wasn't going to get a redemption arc. He could be redeemed, but he still had to die because of the horrible things he did. He burned 2 children. He betrayed. Like Ruth became a better person. She
still murdered people, her own relatives. Come on.
But the birds.
Well, she only murdered one. Like the first person she actually killed with a gun was Hobby.
Yeah,
right?
but she electrocuted her. You know what I'm saying? So
in the first
it's not
season,
like she has. It doesn't matter how you kill somebody if you kill them. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you use a gun or whatever.
I think we expected one of the birds, either Marty or Wendy, to have to sacrifice for them. I expected Ruth to live, and I feel like that's what we as viewers were expecting. So they went a completely different way and said, "Look, these are bad people, and they're going to win the day. They're going to continue just destroying everybody who comes across them."
I think that was kind of. I feel like that's kind of the point. In today's, where unfortunately the rich guy, like they get away with it. Like
the rich get richer, right?
And so it's truthful to the because I remember Chris Mundy when we were on the red carpet and they did like the montage on Netflix, like what, and he's like, what would you say about the ending to Ozark? And he goes, it ends truthfully or something. So it doesn't, because the birds are kind of they're not rich, but they're well off, and the rich in this country get away with a lot, and why sugarcoat that and pretend it doesn't happen, because we all know it does.
Well,
you're innocent till proven broke. I mean, it's.
I mean, all you got to do is watch the documentary "Making a Murderer" to know, he had no money for a legal defense. It doesn't matter whether he was guilty or he wasn't. But the problem is that the authorities and those people had the resources to bury this guy and make him look like he was guilty because he had no resources of his own. He didn't have the money, or he didn't have the influence, he didn't have the power. And, and it's true that Ruth, she had none of that. She started to accumulate some of that power and influence, and she was going on the track where you think that she's going to become the success and she's going to be the one in charge.
Which is a foreshadow. Kind of once the good things start happening, it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And then you knew that it was going to not end well for her. I felt that it was. I thought it was going to happen earlier, but it happened in the last episode, which makes sense, I guess.
I was trying to think when what was Veronica Falcone's character name? She was
Carmela?
the one who. What was the Javi's mom's name?
I feel like I'm thinking Carmela, but it's not. It's
Carmen.
Carmen. Carmen.
Was it Carmen? So when she was talking to Wendy, Marty, and
Shaw, the Shaw lady.
Shaw.
Yeah.
And Shaw basically just gave up.
Yes, just gave her up. Yep.
Which she's trying to save her own skin. I mean, hey. Yep. She's like, fuck it. I'll just tell you. Because if I don't, I'm dead. I know that.
Yep.
And when she just listed said all these things to Wendy and Marty, if you let her know that I'm coming, or basically took away all their options to let her know, I knew it was over. I was like, there's no way that she's going to, because as the writer of the show, they're making sure to fill in those holes. Like, okay, Karma is saying you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, because if you do any of this, I'm going to kill your kids.
Yeah. So
it's like the writer's covering all their bases, meaning pretty much Ruth is toast.
So how much did you get the scripts, or did you read like once you got beyond what you needed to know for Sam, did you want to know how it was going to end, or did you just want to wait and see it? I
actually have the scripts on my computer. I have the last episode on my computer. I haven't read it yet. I'm actually interested to see what it says and if it changed. But yeah, I made sure not to know. I don't know how I got away with not knowing that Ruth was going to get whacked. Because I was surprised when that happened. And then the ending itself was Sopranos has been a long time. I'd have to go back and watch it all over again. But it felt like that kind of moment. I was like, wait a minute, what? Because some people think that Jonah shot Marty or Wendy, and I'm like, no, why would? There's no way he would do that. And
I never. I think Ken and I both talked about it. Like that, we instantly knew, like, oh well, this guy's dead.
Like he shot Mel.
As soon as he shows up on the back, and he's sitting on the trampoline or whatever it was, I looked at my wife and I said, which kid kills him? Which kid comes out and kills him? That's what I said. And
wow.
I think, and my wife was like, what? And I go, yeah. One of them, I thought it was going to be Charlotte. I really did. Because she hadn't done anything like that yet. She's done some sneaky stuff, but she never killed anybody or was in that situation. Whereas Jonah, he's been in that situation. He shot the gun with his the old.
But he's
man.
never shot anybody.
I know, but he throughout the series he had been kind of training. Remember the old man that in the first cup, that he taught him how to shoot the gun and everything. I was like, yeah, he's gonna be a cold-blooded killer. That kid.
I think the ending was probably one of the most disturbing endings I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And even though we don't get to see what happened, like the shot, like I think it was probably one of the biggest deaths ever in the show. For one thing, it's Jonah, who's a kid, who's basically getting the go-ahead from Don Corleone, apparently, because he's smiling. Like Marty has gone. He's gone full beast. Like he's like. Well, I guess after he allowed the hit in Mexico, like he was like okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was okay with his son because he knew the consequences of it. Because Mel knew who was behind Ben's death. Like there was no way he was getting out of that. So I think it ended in great Ozark fashion. Endings it doesn't have to have like a ribbon and a bow. That shouldn't be the way things end.
Yeah, and
one of the things. Oh, go ahead, Ken.
And I think the way they ended it, they can bring it back if they feel like it. They can.
Yes.
Obviously, Ruth and that part of it is in the past. But moving forward, who else are they going to wreck? Who else are they going to do what they did here? Where are they
from Chicago? They're in Chicago now, right?
Yeah. So.
Oh, you think the birds could still come? Like it would still be the birds?
Oh yeah, you could bring the show back and follow them onto whose life are they going to ruin now?
Wow.
Where are they going? So.
Oh, so it wouldn't be in the Ozarks. It would be somewhere else.
Could be anywhere. Could be Chicago. Could be in the Ozarks. Depends on how they.
But they were heading to Chicago to be these like super PAC runners,
influential people,
these influence dealers, and so
would they have to come up with something like ASAP to do that with the kids getting too old? I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe they come back in 10 years and the kids are older now. They're more powerful, and it's the kids who are running stuff. Maybe, I don't know.
I do remember it was a quick conversation that I overheard Ted Sarandos talking to Skylar's mom, and saying, because I think there was something about, a spinoff was mentioned, like just in conversation, but it was a quick conversation. So I don't think Netflix is completely against it for sure. I think it's up to Chris and, the other writers, and
sure.
I don't know. Sam is in North Carolina. Hopefully Sam can get back in it.
And I got to ask you a question, Sam. All right, I gotta ask. So where do you think your relationship goes with the girlfriend? I'm just saying. So it was kind of there was some strange things going on when you got baptized and you came up, and there's a shot right on her chest, and then it goes up to her face. Are you going to steal her away from Richard Thomas's character? What are you doing? What's going on?
I think. Oh man,
that was a little odd to me that when you came up being baptized, you're staring at her chest. I'm just like, what's going on right now? That was strange.
I think maybe the blonde hair, because that's by design. Because Wendy is blonde.
Okay.
So
it just seemed like there was something going on. You guys were a little bit of flirtatious thing happening. So
I wouldn't put it past Sam. He's easy to what's the word I'm looking for here?
Manipulate? I don't know.
Maybe he's single, and he's confusing being saved and baptized with other things, and I don't know. I think I would love to come back and see where my character's gone. It'd be fun.
Your character reminded me a lot of both of Tony Hale's characters from Arrested Development and Veep, where he is so desperate for the attention and the nurturing of this woman, this person who he's like idolized, and like with your mom and then with Wendy, and that's what, to me, that kind of stood out with the woman that was baptizing you. So I kind of hoped I had this idea for the finale going in, just trying to think what I thought might happen. And I was like, I'd like Sam at the end of it all to be the one left standing with the keys, because he's the only person who wasn't an absolute train wreck of a garbage human being.
Yeah.
And you were a good person who just kind of got led down these roads by the birds. And I was like, he'll like own the funeral home and the hotel, and he'll actually be like the last person left standing.
Yes, he'll be the one running the town. Like after everybody else is gone, he's the one that takes over everything. The hotel, the casino, he's got everything. So,
but then I saw you latch on to the Born Again, and I was like, oh, Sam, like there he goes.
I know it's if it's not one thing, it's the other. Like he gets latched onto. It was funny when we shot the final scene, or Sam's final scene, because one of the lines when I'm saying goodbye in the script, it says, let's say till we meet again, or something like that. And Jason was like, let's change that. We don't want you to give any spinoff vibes. And in my head I was like, damn it, what? Come on. So
come on, Jason.
Instead, let's say what was it? What did Wendy say? Let's say farewell or something like that is what it was. But I was a little disappointed we didn't get to keep it. Like, I mean, that doesn't mean Sam can't come back. It's still, who knows? It depends on how my career goes. Maybe they'll want me to come back. I don't know.
Right.
We'll see.
How did you feel about obviously you loved having an ending. You didn't end up dead and on the floor of the whichever place or in the bottom of the pool. But
I thought the ending was I thought it made sense for Sam. Yeah, it was a good way to end things. Yeah,
cool.
I liked it.
Awesome.
All right. Well, we've actually been on for an hour and let's see, 5 minutes. So, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on, man. It was fantastic watching you in the last season of Ozark. You are a genuine celebrity. You are, yes. Don't think you're not, man, because you are, and it's amazing. And I'm happy for you. We're looking forward to you being in the Stranger Things and, of course, Florida Man, and all the cool things that you're doing now. And it's so great that it's taken off for you, and we really appreciate you coming on the show for us.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Where can people find you and follow you?
So on Twitter, it's going to be Kevin_L_Johnson. And then Instagram's going to be at Kevin L. Johnson. Cool. I don't know if at the Kevin L. Johnson is what it should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to change that. And I will. So there you go. All right. Then I will change that, and I'll put it up. But yeah, thank you for coming on. Hey Dan, where can people follow us? Where can people follow us?
Yeah, Appletinis WKen, and that's the same on both Instagram and Twitter. And I'm at Dan Franco on Twitter.
And I'm at Ken Arnold Actor. So we thank you guys for listening to the podcast today. If you can, subscribe to the podcast so you get each and every one. And, of course, this is our first one with a guest. And our first guest ever, Kevin L. Johnson from the fantastic series Ozark, who played Sam, the newly baptized. He's going on. Yes. Uh-oh.
One more thing.
Uh-oh.
I just learned this week. Did you know, how long, you guys might have known this all along, I just found out this week that at the beginning of the show, the O and the things that are in the O, each one of those spelled Zark, Z-A-R-K, each one of them had I just found that out this week.
You just found it out.
Yeah.
But I always thought that was pretty cool because we would try to figure out, okay, what's that? And then we tried to find those things throughout the show.
I'd always try to find them through the show. I just didn't realize they formed a Z, an A, and an R. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, in episode 12, one of the symbols is the pool because of the baptism.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you for joining us, Kevin, and Dan. Thank you for joining me as well today. And we're gonna wrap this up. But
Kevin, can you throw it to our final closing theme song?
Yes. So give us a countdown. Give us a 3, 2, 1. Play that theme song for us. If you don't.
3, 2, 1. Play that theme song.
Appletinis with Ken. Appletinis with Ken. Oh yeah. Appletinis with Ken. Appletinis with Ken, oh yeah, oh. Appletinis with Ken, Appletinis with Ken, oh yeah.